People think being nice earns respect. It does not. Being nice earns comfort, and comfort lowers your position. This is difficult to accept because niceness feels correct. It feels safe. It feels socially approved. But social approval is not the same thing as social respect. Respect is not given for good intentions. Respect is given for signals. Human beings do not respond to what you mean. They respond to what you show. And when you are too nice, you show something very specific. You show that you bend quickly. You show that you avoid friction. You show that you value harmony more than position. This is not a moral judgment. It is a behavioral reading. The social brain is constantly scanning for structure. Who holds their ground? Who adjusts? Who absorbs pressure? Who redirects it? These calculations happen instantly. No one thinks about them consciously, but everyone responds to them. When you agree too fast, the system registers flexibility. When you apologize unnecessarily, the system registers submission. When you explain yourself repeatedly, the system registers uncertainty. None of this makes you a bad person, but it changes how others treat you. Many people experience the same confusion. They are polite, they are helpful, they are considerate, yet they are interrupted, ignored, taken for granted. They help more than anyone else, but they are valued less. This feels unfair, and it is confusing, because you were taught that kindness would be returned. That respect follows goodness. That being easy to deal with makes people appreciate you. But social systems do not work on fairness. They work on calibration. Calibration means balance of pressure. If you always remove pressure from others, pressure moves to you. If you absorb discomfort so others don't feel it, you become the container for it. This is why overly nice people feel quietly exhausted. They are always adjusting, always smoothing, always accommodating. And the more they do this, the more others expect it. Expectation is dangerous. Expectation replaces appreciation. Once your niceness becomes predictable, it loses value. Value comes from selectivity, from restraint, from limits. When you are always available, your availability feels cheap. When you always say yes, your yes carries no weight. This is not cruelty, it is psychology. Humans test boundaries automatically. This is not a flaw, it is how we learn structure. When a child touches a boundary and nothing happens, the child pushes again. Adults do the same thing. If someone interrupts you and you let it pass, the interruption is noted as acceptable. If someone delays you and you compensate, the delay becomes normal. If someone crosses a line and you soften it, the line disappears. Not because they are malicious, but because the system allows it. Over time, people push further, and you feel something building inside. Resentment, not loud resentment, quiet resentment. You feel used, but you don't say anything. You feel overlooked, but you keep being polite. You feel disrespected, but you tell yourself to be understanding. This is where internal conflict starts. You begin to doubt yourself. You wonder why people don't treat you the same way you treat them. You feel guilty for wanting respect. You feel selfish for wanting boundaries. So you stay silent, and silence reinforces the pattern. This is the hidden trap of being too nice. Niceness without boundaries is interpreted as low resistance. Low resistance invites pressure. Pressure without pushback escalates. Respect does not follow kindness. Respect follows resistance. Not loud resistance, not aggressive resistance. Calm resistance. Resistance simply means you do not collapse. You do not rush to agree. You do not over-explain. You do not soften every edge. You allow space. Space creates gravity. Gravity creates respect. High-status individuals are not aggressive. They are contained. They do not hurry. They do not chase reactions. They do not manage emotions that are not theirs. They let silence sit. Silence is uncomfortable for people who rely on control. When you stop filling silence, others reveal themselves. When you stop over-accommodating, others recalibrate. This is why excessive agreeableness lowers authority. Agreeableness signals that your position is flexible. Flexibility is useful in negotiation, but constant flexibility signals weakness. Authority comes from firmness. Firmness does not mean hostility. Firmness means your position remains intact, even when pressure appears. When you say something once and do not defend it, people take it seriously. When you repeat yourself, people hear uncertainty. When you justify decisions emotionally, people see openings. Over-explaining is not clarity, it is defense. Defense signals lower ground. You do not need to defend neutral decisions. You do not need to explain boundaries. You demonstrate them. Behavior teaches faster than words. If you respond slower, people adjust faster. If you stop compensating, people respect timing. If you remove emotional reactions, people stop testing. Emotional reactions invite challenge. Calm responses end negotiation. This is why calm firmness is powerful. You can remain kind without being weak. Kindness with structure changes everything. A calm pause before agreeing raises your value. A neutral refusal without apology closes discussion. A consistent boundary teaches respect without confrontation. You do not need to announce changes. You shift behavior. The system follows. At first, this feels uncomfortable because you were trained to smooth things over. You were trained to avoid friction. You were trained to be easy. But being easy does not mean being respected. It means being used as a pressure buffer. When you stop buffering discomfort for others, the discomfort returns to where it belongs. People adjust. Some may resist briefly. That resistance is information. Those who relied on your flexibility feel the loss first. But those who value structure adapt quickly. This is not about dominance over others. It is about dominance over yourself, over your reactions, over your need to be liked. The moment you stop chasing approval, your presence changes. Not loudly, subtly. Conversations slow down. Interruption decrease. Requests come with more care, not because you demanded respect, but because your signals changed. This is how social systems work. They follow behavior. When your behavior stops signaling availability to be moved, the system responds. Quietly, automatically. This is control without confrontation. Authority without aggression. Kindness without weakness. You are not becoming colder. You are becoming clearer. Clarity stabilizes interactions. Stability earns respect. And once this pattern locks in, something important happens. You stop feeling resentful because you are no longer absorbing pressure that does not belong to you. You stop feeling confused because the feedback finally matches your effort. You stop feeling invisible because your presence has weight. This is not a transformation. It is a correction, a removal of signals that never served you. Awareness changes posture. Posture changes perception. Perception changes treatment. And when your behavior communicates calm resistance, you become difficult to disrespect. Without raising your voice, without explaining yourself, without changing who you are, only how you hold your ground.